Now they're saying that millennial women um, now want to stay home. Now I believe that women shouldn't be working. Let's go back to the beginning when God created man first, and then He saw that this fella is hopeless. He needs a woman there now, and He put him to sleep, took a rib, make this woman, and all that stuff, and He called her Eve, and so on and so forth. God said that you need a helpmeet. So in other words, all the work was man's, all the bull work. But then, of course, if there was no wife or whatever, there would be no kids, and God's plan would have been thwarted. So, but nevertheless, somehow everything was His, and He put in Eve to help Him along. Now, what has happened over time? The Eves, her kids now want to take on all the work for themselves. And even when they were a man, I just need a man. And so they got this fella sitting on the tree or sitting down at home, and they're doing all the work. They got his job down the road, and they come back home. They got to take care of the house, take care of them kids, and all that. They're only killing themselves, you know. Now, in traditional societies in Middle East, in Africa, in India, whatever, women, I mean, maybe there isn't a lot of development, etc. I'm not sure if developed world makes it imperative for women that they have to go out and get a job and whatever. But since the Second World War or whatever, or first Second World War, women now have gone out in droves to work and so on. But at the end of the day, they don't seem to be in a better position, because in going to work, it probably was all about self-development. Because when yeah, it was all about self-development. Now they're saying that women should get into engineering, into science, into math, and a whole bunch of other things. And I personally believe women could do anything. Anything a man could do, a woman could do, except specialized things that and so on. They have no penis, they can't get no sperms or whatever. But other things, they could drive a truck, they could fly a plane, they could kill people, they could do everything. Drive a bulldozer, they work as a judge, they could do anything. Just doctor, scientist, whatever. But in the Middle East, these societies and overseas, these societies have gone through boom and bust, because you had Africa, the first empire, and you had Iraq, the second empire, Iran, the third, Greece, the fourth, Rome, the fifth, Germany, the sixth, and now we right here. And when empire starts, it starts off with vigor and dynamism and vitality and everything, and doing things right and everything. They got the kids' hand to the fire. But after a while, they start slacking up. They don't believe in God no more. They're doing all kind of dumb doing drugs, drinking, and you could see already they start to decline, until it becomes that place where they get knocked off, and the next one come up, start doing the right thing, and they keep going. And these societies seem to see the same thing. They start off good, the women at home, the women taking care of the kids and the husband and everything, and societies are strong. But then either they want more hands in the workplace, or I'm not sure, men start taking these women, use them, and then just put them on the street when they get old. I'm not sure how it goes down, but they gone out in the workplace, they want to be king and queen, and they want to be queen and president and mayor and big this and that. And then society starts to suffer, because the kids don't have the supervision. She's so tired, she can't love them the way she can't love her man, so he's handpicked, and he has all these problems, and then she has all these guilt trips, and you know what I mean, and then society collapse. But if these societies were to say, you know what, let us make laws that we can protect women. If you marry to this woman, and after she has all these kids for you, and she gets a little wrinkly and ropey and all that, and you gonna put her in the street and get a young girl, you know what, all your money that you have right now is hers, property, everything. You can start over there again, and you have maintenance here still. Give them the security they need. But instead we say, girl, go and get you a job so you could take care of yourself. Well, there's a certain aspect of the job. You got to have a vehicle, insurance in the vehicle, gas to the vehicle. You have to eat out, you have to buy extra clothes, you have to do all these cosmetics and all that, so that when they make 100, maybe out of that they're saving just maybe 20, or sometimes they don't save nothing, or they might save 10, so that if they were at home and at work and had a good husband taking care of them, they might have end up to save 25. So, with all the work and the stress and the strain out in the job, they're not necessarily advancing as much. And although they might be in the same position or worse, they have all these other problems now. These psychological problems, the kids out of control, the husband, when she's tired, he's tired, he need her to tell him stuff and so, all these problems. So, we're now trying to get the women in the Middle East to go to get an education and to drive and to come screwed up like us. And you know what? These women are saying are preferring to stay at home. Because you see, I was wondering, when I was growing up, my mom, she worked, she went and did things because my father, I ain't getting into family situations, but she would say, sometimes be tired. In the menstrual cycle, that's all they live around. In the early stages after the period, they start building up in strength, I guess. And then the height of it is when they're ovulating, so that they have all the strength and they could screw all day and make all them plans. I'd like to get pregnant now because I'm feeling powerful and strong. And then, whether they conceive or not, well, let me say they didn't conceive. They start to decline, getting wrong, ready for the menstruation, getting weaker and this and that, all the bloody weak, and then feeling so sick and so bad, all this sickness, and then they start come back again, and then they're coming back. That cycle. And on both sides of the ovulating time, the energy is not right, and sometimes they just feel like lying down and sleep all day and just don't feel like doing nothing. But when they have that job, man, it doesn't matter. They have to be boring, because if you don't have the strength because it's building up, and she has to put these demands on the body would respond, but she's using up future, and who knows, maybe she brings on sickness on herself, early menopause, because she has been exerting herself beyond her real present. She's been living beyond her present resources of needs and energy and so on. Now, what I believe is this. I believe that we should give women free education, young girls free education. You go get all the education you want, it's free. We're going to give you maintenance also. When you graduate, if you want to work, that's fine. If you want to stay at home, we're going to give you what you would have saved. We're going to give you what you would have to spend on car and gas and depreciation and lunch and all that stuff. We're going to give you what you might have end up with. So when you work for 1,000, when you spend all them gifts for friends in the office and all this stuff like that, you might just end up with 100. What if we give you 150 at the end of the month? You'd be ahead of the game without all that stress and strain, and you relax. And if you have kids, you'll be able to be there for them, be able to see them off to school. When they come home, you're there. They don't have to be opening the door by themselves, bringing friends, going from one thing to the next. You can make sure they have to eat, they do what they need to do. And I think that, and the husband, when he comes in, you're refreshed, you're strong. He can lift you up, yes, but you could, take on his problems and have the energy to, while he's spent, to be on him and saying, honey, this is, yeah, I know things will be better, and you're strong, and so on. And oh yes, when you're ready to get down, oh boy, you're rested and you're good. And then he's saying, girl, you too much of me, I enabled you, you look at you so good, eh? The whole life is going to be so better. And so, yes, the men should go to work and the women should stay at home. If a woman finish having her kids and they're all grown and she wants to go back to work, well, we got to take back our 150 and go and get what you could get. I think something like this, society is going to benefit profoundly, because when these women at home, they could form all kind of different clubs. They could looking out for each parent kids. Say the kids leaving home at 8, all of them at the gate, and so kids coming and going, and they're all watching out for them. Somebody else watching for your kids, you watching for somebody else's kid. And when all clear, every kid got in school, maybe about 9:30, everybody going back inside. Well, kids don't come home for lunch, but in the evenings again, they're out there watching. So if all around they're watching, and they're watching the kids' safety. In other words, like they have a block, this is my block, and you over there, and they're watching the kids walking, and how you doing, son? And they're saying, good day, mom, good day. I'm going to tell your mom what you did out here. Or sometimes they could pull them aside and spank their arse. Go and tell your mom I spank you. Mom say, hey, I know that lady, she's a good person, she spanked you because you were doing something wrong, and I don't want to hear about it. Just go and do what you have to do before I spank you too. Them kids you would catch their arse, and they will stop all the stupid stuff they're going on with. And and we be kind of moral. Don't try to get somebody's husband. Content with your own. Society would be so different, huh? women would be happier, the kids are happier because they have that security and that emotional strength. Um, um, we don't expose these women to stuff that gonna set them up as thinking they're tomboys. Tomboy. Get real. You're a woman, and you have the same thing. You're building up to your ovulation. You start declining towards your period. That's it. All those games you think I could. Yeah, look, you see, I used to climb trees with the boys. I could go to war. Yeah, you probably could go, but you're gonna be screwed over. And to see you living in the park, seeing your period out in the park, all them stuff, them private things you have to do out in the park, and when you're flipping a gun and getting your kind of, what is it called, again, flashbacks and all that, and holding up some people, and the cops got to come and shoot in your arse, and you drop down there and they got to cover it up. It's so despicable. So you know what? We don't want to see you go through that. You go into war, and then them boys, the enemy catch 6 of y'all and take y'all across, so. And then they show us you're pregnant, and they show you say that, yes, I like you more than my husband. Look at this thing going on, getting my some head and all that. It's gonna break our hearts. It's gonna make us lose that war. You know what I mean? Women will make you lose a war, bro. You don't see them well, of course they're doing suicide bombing and so forth, but those people overseas, they have so much strength. I believe that a lot of these soldier boys that going overseas and coming back with all his tore up self, There's this one guy, you see him, he dropping his head in this girl, shoulder. She said, I married this guy to be a man. Now he's a baby. Well, maybe he had the type of love and the type of encouragement and the strength that you'll get as a young person if you have certain experiences when the mom's all watching out and they're there to, do whatever needs to be done. Father's there too and so on. So, I don't care how strong you are. Somebody stop your blood to go into your brain, you're gonna start dying. But they just hold you underwater for 4 minutes, you're gonna die. I don't care how powerful you think you are or what you can lift or already. These are some basic things. You don't breathe for 4 minutes, you're gonna have brain death. And if you went on, you're drowned, as it were. So let us get real and help these women along, because we